this is certainly the culmination of all that is done in Splatoon.
You can see it firsthand what Splatoon means to these people, and it's awesome.
It's really a celebration. It's a convention of a bunch of people who really like kids, squids, and shooting each other with ink. And speaking of shooting each other with ink, it does look like we're getting started right now. Splat zones on Mako Mart. Do you say Mako or Mako?
Mako.
Okay, I say Mako, so people at home, get ready to grit your teeth here. We're going to dive right into it now. Splatted by Smallfry and Tamago. Getting right in. We'll take a look here at the weapons already. We do see some dualies. Those have fallen off a little bit. Why do you think they're using them?
I think even though they've fallen off, I think there's kind of a resurgence of that Slayer meta. So even though it might not be used as often as it used to be when like Inkjet was in the peak of its use.
That was about a year ago,
wow,
actually.
That was a long time ago.
This game moves quick.
Yes. The game just changes so much after every patch. It really becomes almost a new game each time.
That is what it feels like. The new patch here didn't change as much, and speaking of things that have been moving quick right now, that's another almost full wipe here. The only special that's available right now for Splatted by Smallfry is going to be the Bomb Rush on the Sloshing Machine Neo, but I love the way that Tamago is moving and rotating their offense. You can't let people build up their specials.
Yeah, for sure. But it feels like Splatted by Smallfry is really having a tough time trying to get back into the zone. Using their specials to really push, but I don't think it's being very successful at the moment.
Well, it's so difficult, too. They had to use their specials in there to get to the zone, meaning that none of their specials actually got on the zone. As I say that, it does look like an Ink Storm is going to be coming up. This might be just enough. Everyone is down. Ninga needs to paint the zone and is going to be able to here. Not going to be able to stop that. I would have thrown that at the zone, actually.
I definitely would have thrown it at the zone.
Okay, they got it. They got it.
They were confident enough that they could get it.
I guess so. More confident than I would have been in that situation here. Now they'll have a chance to put a bit of a comeback together. But again, great movement up there with that Kunder, the Kensa Undercover Bella. Talk a little bit about why that's such a devastating weapon.
It is really annoying to fight against as someone who plays a shooter. It can charge an armor in no time at all. And that one patch that Nintendo put out where you can get a new shield if you end up getting a Splat is just, it's too powerful.
I was talking with a couple people earlier, and I think it was Ace. He and I were talking about how right now 3 of the best weapons in the game are the Undercover Brella, the Tentabrella, and the Ink Brush. You can say that without laughing, without any jokes. No cap is needed for that one. It is legitimate, it is true, and they are here to stay for the time being. Very good job moving in, and I thought they were about to take the zone, actually. They have to right now, only 14 seconds left on that timer if you count the penalty. Great job there by Splatted by Smallfry, keeping themselves in the game. You see their penalty is gone, a full wipe. They're going to get to move up, and this is the moment right here. Do they sit back and let the specials be built, or do they move up and put the pressure?
Yeah, and we can see they're really trying to keep the zone, and I think if it was me, I would try to push up just a little bit more, because if you start to push up while you have control of the zone, even if you get wiped, you still get a few extra points while the other team tries to make it back to the zone.
Right, Ninga King needs to get back here. He's the backliner, a very versatile player. I know I've seen him play just about everything under the sun here, and it does look like once he goes down, that's going to be the walls falling down as well. Now, once again, Rotomotor's going to be moving up here, finding a very unwitting baby cow right there, wielding that sloshing machine. And again, it just seems like every time they take it, they aren't quite able to push up as much. Maybe it's because they're worried that they're going to get sharked around on the side, but I'd like to see them be, like you said, just a bit more aggressive if they get that cap back.
Yeah, I can definitely see that if they choose to go towards that aggressive route, they could really give Tamago a run for their money.
Let's see here. Pico opting just to sit back. Knows they don't need to push up too hard because, as you see, that timer is counting down. One more person in the zone going to be taken care of nice and easy. We did see a nice resurgence there by Splatted by Smallfry after a pretty rough opening, but Tamago was really in control from the get-go.
Yeah, but, you know, it was nice to see a little bit of back and forth. And we can see that it wasn't, even though it was a knockout, it's not like Splatted by Smallfry couldn't have made that comeback.
Right, and I mean, they got it down to 40. That means that they had to take it a couple times. They did get the flip, and they did get a decent chunk out there. But with Splat Zones, unlike any of the other modes, there's no return to center. There's not an option where you know, okay, they pushed it pretty deep on us, but at least our objective will move back to center. You're stuck with whatever was scored there. You don't really get an opportunity to get any of that back. So it's very, very difficult if you get a bad opening. And that's kind of how it went. I'm hoping that because they were able to come back, they'll have a little bit of confidence here. And on Rainmaker Camp Triggerfish, this is a volatile Rainmaker map. In our match that we played earlier today, we rotated everybody. We made a call out that they were pushing the Rainmaker to the right side. And all three of us rotated there. And the enemy team just said, well, wait a minute, let's just go to the center now. And we couldn't get back. So you really have to be very smart about the way you defend. You have to keep your map open at all times. I think this is a very fun map for Rainmaker, though.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that a little bit of that each time you play Triggerfish, no matter what mode you're playing. There's just so many different routes that you can take, and you have to really focus a little bit on defense and offense each time you make a push or defend, you know.
Lot to keep track of.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So how do you feel personally about Rainmaker on Triggerfish?
I think it was actually my favorite map and mode combo back in Splatoon 1. In this current game, I think it's very polarizing in terms of the, like, you have to, I feel like you have to have a weapon composition specifically for Triggerfish as a whole.
Yes.
This is one of the only maps where I would play a shooter. I would probably play a Kensa shot here instead of my buckets, just because, one, I like the missiles, and I need to stay mobile here. There's not an objective that I can stick on as a little up close and personal on the camera there.
Say.
It's that, hey, look, I'm on TV effect. I love it. I love it. But you really do have to have something in mind specifically for this mode. So we'll see here if these teams opt to flex around a little bit. If they opt to go with the same thing, it looks like almost all of them are locked in. So we will see that right now as we get here into Game 2. A reminder that this is a best of 5. It is Swiss. All of these teams will get to play 3 full sets here, this being the first set. A very important set because it sets the tone for the rest of Swiss.
For sure. And as these teams start the match, we can see that both teams have decided on a ballpoint nouveau, which is a very strong pick for this map, especially, oh no, the dive.
We're gonna, you know, the dive gets a 10 if I had to score it.
You're right.
The Rainmaker objective play, not quite as high of a score, unfortunately. Muffin Time gonna grab the Rainmaker and head all the way over. What a great name, Muffin Time. And see, this is why it gets scary. I don't think that this is gonna get much further as Gem makes up for the dive by getting a nice pick right there. But you can see now how scary of a position this is right now for the members. Splatted, what?
Did they push them off the map?
Yo, that's a 5-minute major in hockey right there. Just pushing somebody off the map. That is one way to get
That's a red card right there.
That is one way to get yourself a splat. That might be the most creative kill I think I've seen anybody do today. That is incredible. My original point, which I have long since forgotten, was that on this map, when you push it over here to the side, it can become very, very difficult to hold map control. And you see right here, they are trying to rotate back out here and try to get a push here and keep it in this zone, but it's so difficult. You can see they're stuck on that elbow.
And Rotor kind of trying to keep the Rainmaker from pushing, but 3v1 sometimes is just not.
This is good, and now they should be able to push forward here. Yeah, Gem, you got to get up there a little bit. I think Gem turned around a little too early there. Probably could have met Roto in the middle of that situation there and allowed that to push a little further. But again, that's why this map is so scary. If you do get any paint in front of you, the points go quick. Yeah,
for sure. Especially if they take that middle path, the points, it's tough. It's tough to make a comeback from that. But the score is still 76-65, so really, I still think it could be anybody's game.
Yeah, this map, more than maybe any other, I think, when you're on those walls, tests your ability to move up with your backlaner, because your backlaner is going to be the one sitting up on the wall. In that situation, you saw that Pico and, Roto did a much better job of identifying where the opponent was and using that kind of period where one of them is shooting and the other one is recharging to try to push up and get their picks there. Got that very cleanly. And now you see Baby Cow's baller going in and a great timed explosion there, not letting Pico get away from that. This is still very low scores by this map standard.
Yeah. But I don't think that the blue team's push is over. Oh, just kidding. Yellow team was pushing.
So they're going to have to work it back to middle here, and Soli needs to be careful there. Yeah, keep some shots going over that wall. You know they're going to be coming from that direction. Ninga's in a great position, though, because he's going to be able to hold that, and if Soli can escape from this, they might opt to push left here. They're going to need to make a decision quick. Remember, everybody, when you are holding the Rainmaker, your opponent gets special meter, meaning that they can't wait. Baby Cow going to knock another. I like what Muffin Time was trying to go for there. If they get rid of Roto, I don't think there's much left on the defensive. It does look like Pico has respawned, but 3 specials going to meet him for a clean and instant full wipe. Nothing left on that plate.
Wow, that Booyah Bomb took out 3 of their three members of Splatted by Smallfry.
Well, that's what we just said. You have to make that push quick because you give your opponent free special meter, and that's what you're met with. You're met with essentially 3 specials putting your push down.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Now, in this situation here, we can see they're a little bit split up. How do you opt to defend this if you're blue team? Do you go 3-1, 2-2? Because obviously the threat is the Rainmaker.
Generally, my team would go 2-2, although sometimes we're a little unprepared for a flank, which is actually more easy to do on this map than most other maps because of the grates in the middle.
And once again, Pico just being a terrifying menace here. Muffin Time now moving back up there. Roto, wow.
Oh no, the bomb.
Well, I mean, that was still good, though, because it allowed them to push up and grab it. Muffin with great response time there, saying, okay, let's get as many points as we can right here. These last points are so difficult to get, but now you see they're having a hard time even getting it out. They opt to play the Rainmaker, jumping it down, resetting it back to the middle, but now with only 48 seconds left, they have a lot of work to do.
We can see that most of the turf is yellow, making it pretty difficult for Splatted by Smallfry to get back into the middle and to have enough turf to maneuver through.
Now, if there is one saving grace in this situation, there is no Stingray being run by Tamago right now. They're going to have to get their picks the old-fashioned way, but right now, I'm not even sure that they're going to let them touch the Rainmaker here. You see just making a perimeter around it with bombs, bullets, and everything in between. You see they aren't even opting to give it up, and now Roto going for what might be a flank. When are they going to time this one? This is scary. This is scary.
It's risky.
All right, there's the grab. Siren going to opt to try to put this one to bed right now with a Booyah Bomb.
Oh, barely missing the Rainmaker. Giving the Rainmaker just another chance to try and make that push to past 10. Oh, this is not looking so hot.
And Muffin would have gotten taken out right there had that gone, but Muffin Time with 2 clean picks there at the end needed both of those to happen very quick. You saw one of them was stuck with Inkjet. Siren was still rotating over. That was actually kind of close.
Yeah.
If that had gone down, that might have been at least a push to the top of the bridge, which put you in the 20-point area. A lot more scary than it needed to be, but Tamago does hang on for the 2-0. Great job so far. Now tower control on Inkblot Art Academy.
It's pretty vanilla. Ooh, it's a pretty vanilla map mode combo, I would say.
Yeah.
As far as tower control, it's probably up there as one of my favorites. Yeah.
I think it's one of the scariest to play on because you can rotate around. There's that block that is only there in both Clam Blitz as well as tower control. Clam Blitz, it's a little different because everyone knows you're headed that way. But here, people forget. The tower moves on the opposite side of that platform area. So when you're sitting over there trying to make the push, the very smart players can find a time to sneak up there and get the picks. I think, like, I mean, if you have a blaster, I know blasters aren't as beloved, although the Luna's making a comeback. Bring it out right now. You could end a game in one big push if you're aggressive enough.
Yeah, and it's really important to keep in mind that when you're playing tower control, you really have to try to push in front of the tower. So you don't want to have your team be straggling behind the tower as it's pushing forward, because that gives the other team kind of a free shot at the tower.
Right. Well, it takes the pressure away from them, right? They're able to just shoot and throw sub-weapons at the tower and not really have to worry about being punished for being sloppy or not positioning well, because there's no immediate threat. The threat is the tower itself, but the tower only moves, well, one, it moves very slowly, and it only moves when somebody's on it. So absolutely, play ahead of the objective. If you're a youngster, if you're a S+ rank or anywhere, if you're trying to get better at tower control, play ahead of the tower. Do not allow the opponent to crash in on the tower, because remember, you're a sitting duck up there or a sitting squid, as the case may be. What do you think Splatted by Smallfry needs to do in order to make a comeback as we get this third game started?
I think they need to get like a few picks in the beginning and then push really aggressively.
So you're looking for a fast and furious opening here.
Yes.
Take the momentum and immediately force it in your favor. Let's see what tools they brought to try to accomplish this job, a difficult job. Every reverse 3-0 starts with one game. The Kenta Sloshing Machine and both bringing out an end zap. Okay,
Ooh,
Milana, I'm going to
about
toss
that.
this one to you. Why are they doing it?
I think it is a great weapon for both offensive pushes and defensive saves. It just is so, it has so much potential because you can protect yourself when somebody is really pushing up on you, but you can also paint really fast.
And, you know, sometimes a good old suction bomb is just what you need here. I mean, devastating though they may be on the tower, I feel like as people have started to pick up the Kensa splatter shot and other weapons that use it, people have kind of remembered, like, you know, we talk so much about the torpedo and the fizzy. A good old-fashioned suction bomb is pretty scary itself. I know you were looking for a strong opening from Splatted by Smallfry, but it has started the other way. That first checkpoint falling almost instantly. To be fair, this one does generally fall pretty quick. It's the second one that's going to need to go down. And Siren going to throw this. Where are they going to opt to throw it? Right at the... Oh, that got two people. That's three
down. I think this might be very difficult for Splatted by Smallfry to come back from.
Gem going to go down here as well. Not even able to get the trade here. They're just going to walk this one up to this third checkpoint here as Roto goes and gets another pick on Nasoli. I don't even think this Kenta machine's going to get to do anything. Is anyone even going to get to touch the tower at this point?
I think Muffin Time is having a real good time right now.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
No.
Get on the tower. Get on the tower. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
About to say, are we farming for Smallfry at this point? Well, if you can get splatted by a Smallfry, you can get splatted by an egg. Tamago getting the 3-0 victory, a very convincing 3-0 victory over Splatted by Smallfry. Splatted by Smallfry's journey not over yet. It is Swiss. They will need to make a strong comeback in their later matches if they want to have a chance. But if you're Tamago, you have to be feeling great about the way you